Cowabunga dudes and dudettes, this is Anthony, aka Batbomb82, and today I'll be doing my 229th Mezco Toyz 112 Collective action figure review, this time being of Doc Nocturnal. Now take a look at the front, we can see a really cool collage of different artwork of Doc Nocturnal. Turning the box around, we get some more incredible artwork. If we actually open the box and remove the lid, we can see some more artwork of the character, which is really cool. I love the moon in the background. And if we actually remove all the different trays, even more cool artwork inside that. So this thing is packed with art. So let's go ahead and crack this thing open and let them breathe. Alright guys, now let's check out the new Doc Nocturnal, as I'm probably the last person on Earth to finally receive this figure. We should have got this figure like last year, literally, but so many of us has waited for so long, so for me, I'm going to consider this a 2025 release, honestly. I really am. But anyways, he's finally here, and I think he's pretty effing dope, honestly. So I just love the new buck that they're using here. You know, the previous figure, you'll see size comparisons later, was cool. I do love that figure, but he was so small. I didn't understand why he was so small. Again, he had a very teenage body almost. It was a little weird, but this is a really cool upgrade. I'm glad they did something like this. So I love this so much. I love just, again, the more unmasked look. I think a lot of us just thought he had a skull head, but I guess now we realize that was a mask that he was wearing, you know what I mean? But I love like the centerpiece right here with the webbing and the skull on the chest looks really cool. The soft goods look great, man. I love like the shoulder area here. This kind of like leather-like material comes off like that, kind of bulks him up a little bit, gives him a little more width. So that's really cool. I love all this. Again, that detailing on the soft goods looks really nice. I love the belt. All that looks really good. The gloves look really good too. I love all the little like gunmetal silver studs that they have on there. Those are really rad. So I love that a lot. The boots, again, more of those like silver studs look good, man. You got those steel-toed boots, the painted buckles and straps and all that. All look really nice. And I love his little like wrist communicator thing here with the little skull on that. That's really rad. But also the fact that you can actually lift that little skull piece up and it can turn into a little wrist comm. So I think that's super dope, man. Really love that a lot. He does have a little hoodie, so you can pull the hoodie up like this. I wish the hoodie was a little bit bigger, a little more billowier, and then I wish it had a little bendy wire, but I mean, it is what it is. You can put this over any of the heads, and I'll show you that shortly, but that's still really cool to have that. So I think this looks awesome, man. I really appreciate the updates here. Okay, now let's talk accessories. We of course do get the Mezco circular base stand there with a really cool image of Doc Nocturnal right there, and then the clear articulated arm. We do get a bunch of interchangeable hands, which is really nice. You get a lot of them here. So you get close-fisted hands, different types of gripping hands, and different types of trigger finger hands for holding all his different types of weapons. And then you got more like support hands and stylized posing hands and things like that. Everything you're really going to need for this figure, which works out great. We got just a crazy amount of accessories, which is really cool. So you get different types of like grenades, which are, I don't know if these are supposed to be like gas grenades or some type of ooze grenades, I don't know, but then you get those really cool skull grenades, which we've seen before. Those are really cool. You get this little comm thing, I'm not sure what this is, or a detonator, I really don't know what it is, but it still looks cool, and I do like it. And this kind of just plugs into the belt right here. See the little pin right there, and you can just port this onto the belt like that, and it'll stay there. Just give it a nice little push, and there you go. You have it like that. We do get different types of like little vials and things like that, and shells, like artillery shells and things like that. They're all really cool. But I do love this thing right here, this like hook. That's pretty cool. It's kind of like his, I don't know if it's like his like Batman grapple gun kind of thing. That's really nice. I love how the claws actually like open and close like that, so that's really cool. But I also love the fact that we get a second one with a bendy wire attached to it, so you can like make it look like it's shooting out, and it's, you know, pose it around and do whatever you want with it. So that's really cool too. I do appreciate stuff like that. We do get multiple guns here. So you get this little laser blaster, which I think is really cool. And it does have a separate little effect piece, a little red laser kind of shooting out of it. But I also love the fact that you can actually open up this, like the chamber area, and like load a shell into it or something. So that's actually really cool. I dig how they did that. And the detail of that gun looks awesome. The little skull and stuff like that. All the sculpting and paint on just that one little gun looks really cool. Again, he does get a second gun, which is a little bulkier. And same thing, you know, it does have the little skull and all that extra paint detail, which looks really good, man. I love how that one looks. That's probably my favorite gun in here, honestly. I just love how that pistol looks. And again, you can like open up the chamber and like load an actual shell into it, which I think is really cool. So I just absolutely love how they did that. That is rad, dude. We also do get this really cool Tommy gun. This is really cool and really unique. Now, we've gotten Tommy guns before in this line, but I don't think we've gotten one like this. So this can actually rotate like that. And then you can bring this in like so, and then fold this in like that. And it's collapsible, so he can carry it. Now, it does have this little strap right here. At first I was like, is this a thong or something? What is this? But it's actually to, you know, get this, and then you can actually clip it onto there, and then clip this onto the belt or the back of the figure once you put the harness on. So I think that's pretty cool. I actually really like how they did that. That's a really unique idea. With those guns, we do get bullet effects, and these are the same bullet effects we've seen many times in this line. They all work out good, man. But I do kind of feel like we need newer bullet effects. I don't know, is that just me? But something new. These are still great. I love them so much, but I think it's about time we've, you know, maybe get some new designs out there for that, stuff like that. So that's really cool too. I even love things like this, like the detailed holsters for the guns are really cool. You know, they got that like webbing effect on there, which looks really rad. And you can connect those onto the belts. We do get a harness here, which I'll kind of like show how that goes on when I'll show you what to do with this. This could be a little finicky, but it does work out really nice. I do like that a lot. Probably his biggest and baddest accessory is going to be this crazy thing. This thing is gnarly, dude. I love how kind of like steampunky it is. It has all these tubes of like ooze or slime, or I don't know what it is. Maybe that's the stuff too that made him stronger, but why would he shoot that? I don't know, maybe it's just powered by that stuff. But I love how these shells can kind of like feed through the gun here, and they are kind of like articulated. The belt here is articulated, so you can move that around. It does have a handle there. This strap can open to easily put it over the fist right here, and you're supposed to put this like in the hand and then come here and then like clip it on like so, and it's to help support that gun up. You know, I don't even have that in the hand, but it's still holding up pretty good. So that's really cool. I do like how they did that. It really does help. It shows that they put some effort and thought into a weapon like this, and luckily it's not too heavy, so it doesn't like weigh the arm down all that much. And then you do get a blast effect like this, like shooting one of those shells out right there from here. I think that's super cool as well. Like stuff like this, that's awesome, dude. So that is a really gnarly gun. Again, I just really dig how they did this. So that came out great too. Now moving on, we have this cape here, which looks really rad. I love the ironing, very Batman-esque with those wings like that. That looks super cool. You see it does have a little skull on there like that. This skull right here is actually meant to pop out, and it could be a little bit of a pain in the butt. So I've just been getting a flathead and kind of just prying out of there. Being careful, of course. You really want to be careful. You don't want to tear anything or break anything, so just be very careful and pull that out like so. And there's a little slot in there. What I've been doing also, I've been taking the head off. The head coming off is a lot easier. And you're gonna feed the neck and the hood right here through that like so. And then this is actually going to peg in, this skull is gonna peg into the slot for the skull that we just took off like that. And then we could put the head back on right there. And then this does have a little bit of a bendy wire in that, so that's really cool. So you can pose that around and do whatever you want like that. So if you want, let's go ahead and pull the hood back up like that. So if you want to have him with his cape on, you know, go fix it the way you want to. I think that's really cool too. If that's the look you want to go for, I think that looks really rad. He actually looks really intimidating like that. I don't know, but I like it, man. I really do. I kind of, again, wish there was bendy wire more at the bottom of the cape too, not just the sides. They've been doing just like the sides of the cape lately. I don't know why they don't do full on throughout the whole entire thing. So I don't know, that's just me. But anyways, that looks really cool too if that's a look that you want to go for. Now let's talk about this harness here, because you're going to want to take the belt off for this. On the harness, you see these tiny little hooks, and you'll see like these elastic straps and slots everywhere. That's going to be hooking on to those like that. So like so, and you'll see them all over the belt where you're going to attach a bunch of different things. This could be a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie. So you're going to want to just take your time, be patient, get everything on smoothly, and make sure it's on there sturdy so nothing falls off. But it does work out great. And the way I've been doing it, I've been putting all the accessories on separately with the belt and harness off. It's just so much easier that way than having to do them while it's on the figure. So then it just becomes a lot easier to just pull this harness on like that, pull it over the shoulders, and then get this like buckle lined up, and then see if I can get that in here, and then get that plugged in like that. You know, line it up a little better like so, you know. And again, it really is, you do not want to try and put all the stuff on with the belt and strap on. It's going to be a pain in the ass. So just do it separately. It works so much better, and you can see all the cool gear that he has on. Like, it's really awesome, man. I really love how they've done all this. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the head sculpts, or head and different mask sculpts, however you want to say that. But anyways, I do love the fact that we get an actual head for Doc Nock here. Again, I think like many of us thought before that the skull head that was on the previous figure, that was just his head. He was a skull head dude, because that's what Mezco does. They make roaches and skull dudes. Anyways, I love this head portrait. It looks really cool, very zombie-like, very mystical too as well. I love the inside of those eyes, how it's really dark with the paint, and those red eyes look gnarly, dude. So freaking cool. And then I love the different head or skull masks that we get. The first one looks a little more like the original figure, which I do like. Obviously it's different, it's a little more detailed and stuff like that, but it does reminisce that first figure quite a bit, so I do like that. Then you have one that's way more detailed. That one is so freaking dope as well, man. That's probably the one I'm going to be using. I think that works out really rad. And then you have this like gas mask thing, which is really cool too. Kind of similar to like the different masks that we had with the previous Doc Nocturnal figures. I always thought that was really cool too. Here's the thing. These masks do just slip onto the figure. You can just push them on. But getting them off can be a pain in the butt. You're gonna want, so if you're having trouble, like I'm gonna go ahead and just put this on like here, and it kind of just fits over the head. You can actually take this little thing off in the back for whatever reason. I don't know why maybe just to put these heads on, the masks on easier or whatever. So it is what it is. But I do like how you can see like the red of the eyes through that. I think that's super dope, man. So these are just really cool designs, and the hood will still fit over these, again, different skulls and stuff like that. Again, I just wish this hoodie was a little more billowier, is that a word? Billowier, but you can't do it. And again, I just wish there was a bendy wire, but whatever. Anyways, I do like these a lot. Again, they can be a pain in the butt. You can't just pry them off, because then you're constantly popping it off the neck peg. So what I've been doing, especially for this one specifically, I've just been taking like this and then putting it into some like hot water to soften up this mask, and it pulls off way easier. So if you're having trouble, use some heat. It will work. But just straight up like this, it's gonna be a pain in the butt, man. So something to note. Again, you do have this mask here, this gas mask, and it kind of does say that you can put this on the regular head, but I noticed when you put it on just the regular head without the skull mask, it's a little loose fitting and it kind of wiggles around. So it does fit a lot better when you actually have one of the skull masks on. So this actually just opens like this, and I'm gonna go ahead and put this on right here. Let me get this collar hood thingy out of the way like that. You can close this up, if I could actually do it here, and then reconnect this little hose like that. Get that on there like that. And now you have something like that, and that looks a lot better. You can even see the skull eyes a bit through those translucent red lenses. I love the look of this, dude. The hoses and the little tiny bits of silver rivets and studs and things like that look really cool as well. The different golds and the coppers. That looks awesome, dude. So I really do dig that. And then one of the last things that we do get here, again, you do have options. I'll just take the mask like this. You also do get these goggles, which I think is really cool too. These are not meant to fit over the actual head. They're meant to fit over more of the different skulls. So if you can put these on like that, and then just put this on over a skull like so. And then you have more like that look if you want to do that while having the mask on. That looks awesome too. I really love the way this looks, dude. This is so much better than the original version, but again, it's really cool to have options, dude. I love this so much. I kind of want to just have him fully loaded up with just everything he could possibly hold and put on this figure. I think he's so cool, man. I really, really love it. Now I'm going to go ahead and run down articulation with all this stuff on here just because I want to see how it moves with it on. So the head and the neck seems to be on separate ball pegs, so that rolls around like that. Does turn left and right, up about that far, down about that much, which is really, really nice. And of course, tilt side to side. Arms can go all the way up, all the way down, up and out that far. There's no butterfly joint in there, but we got rotation at the bicep, double jointed elbows. We got rotation at the glove right here, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge at the wrist. Let's see, we do get double ball pegs in here, it feels. So that rolls around, rotates left and right, crunches back actually very, very nicely. That's pretty wild. Crunches, oops, something fell off the belt. Crunches forward all the way that much. That's actually pretty good too, man. It actually feels really, really nice. Pivot side to side. Hip joints can kick up and forward that far. Back, not so much. Van Damme splits about that far. Rotation in the upper thigh. We got double jointed knees where he can kick himself in his own butt. Well, then we got not really rotation at the boot. It kind of feels like there should be, but I'm pretty sure some of the fabric, the soft goods are kind of hindering that a little bit. And then ball pegs at the ankles here, so you can go up, down, very little. Decent ankle rocker. Wish that could be a little better, but they're decent. So I don't know, man. Overall, I think this is a really cool upgrade. I'm kind of really glad they did this. Again, I've always loved that first Doc Nocturnal. Really cool figure, but I always found it a little weird that he was just so little and like almost meant Spider-Man-like, you know what I mean? Like a young Spider-Man. But this feels a little more intimidating, a little more badass, and especially with all the new gear and things like that. Really cool figure, man. I love him so much, and he is definitely a must-get. So for a quick size comparison, here he is standing next to a Marvel Legends Deadpool and Mafex Batman figure. Also for comparison, here he is standing next to a Transformer Soundwave and NECA Shredder. And for your Mezco comparison, here he is standing next to the original Doc Nocturnal. So there it is, guys, my review of Doc Nocturnal. Now, honestly, this is a much better figure from that previous release. Now, I'm not saying the first one was a bad figure by any means. It's actually very, very good. This one is just a lot better in my opinion. I love the size of this figure. It makes so much more sense. I just dig how the more bulkier figure feels. I love the soft goods. Mezco always does a killer job, especially with that cobweb feel, with the skull vibe and all that throughout this figure. So cool. The sculpt and the paint apps are gorgeous. One of my complaints will be that, again, those skull masks can be a little bit of a pain in the butt to remove, you know, and then the harness can be a little finicky when you're trying to get the different things on, but it's really not terrible. I love all the different accessories that we do get, again, like those masks, like that gas mask. I love the soft goods wired cape. That thing is really cool as well. I do love that the collapsible Tommy gun and that giant laser rifle thingy steampunk weapon. I don't know what that is, but I think it's so dope. And then I just love that he can holster so much of his accessories on the actual figure. This is a home run, man. Mezco really kills it when it comes to their original IP, and this Doc Nock is no exception. He is totally badass, and I think you would love him for your Mezco collections. So don't forget to be excellent to each other, and stay nerdy, my friends. Peace.